Thirdly, let's suppose that you open up your record and you notice a letter has arrived in your medical record and you weren't expecting anything from the hospital because you've not been. You open up your record, you open up the letter only to find that it's actually a letter for somebody else in the practice. It's another patient's letter. It's got their name in, it's got their address in, it's got all the conditions that that particular patient suffers with. What are you going to do? Of course, once you've read that letter, it's impossible to take that information away. You know about it now, and you shouldn't, because that information is confidential. So we advise you to close that medical record down immediately and inform the practice immediately that someone else's letter has been scanned into your medical record. It's a mistake that can happen. It's human error. We get hundreds, if not thousands, of letters that have to be scanned in every day, and sometimes letters do get scanned into the wrong medical record. As part of the backup procedures that we have, if a situation like this arose, we would immediately contact the original patient and inform them of the mistake that's been made. But secondly, we'd also take the letter out of your medical record and put it into the original patient's record, because of course, whilst it's sat in your record, it's not doing you any benefit. We also have signs up within the practice informing everybody that we have records access and that we're trying to ensure that the information is put into the right medical record as much as possible. But it's something that you might want to consider. Fourthly, what about the difficult situation of children? When do children have a right to see their medical record? This is causing us a great deal of difficulties because we don't quite know. As a child, you as a parent rather, have rights to see the medical record until that child becomes an adult themselves. But what about before then? What about if your daughter came into the practice requesting contraception and didn't want anybody else to know? What happens there? Should she be allowed to be given the medical treatment? Well, we have a process within the NHS whereby the doctor who's treating that child has to decide whether it's in the best interest of that child to be treated for whatever it may be, perhaps contraception or whatever. If that happens, the child also has the right to confidentiality. So the question then arises, what should happen about the passwords for that child? Should you as a parent be allowed to see the medical record or not? We don't have an answer to that question at the moment. It's a problem that's arisen, and it's something that you might want to think about when you're thinking about offering records access for your own children. I advise all parents to specifically think about children between the ages of 10 and 18, and perhaps come in and discuss this with your doctor or nurse to decide what you're going to do about records access in the cold light of day before a situation like this arises. Just be aware of the issue, and you may have views on it to help decide what's best in the interests of your children.